What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're up for round 2 of Wednesday afternoon worship. Last Friday we talked about the Mwangi Expanse, which is a region that honestly I don't know a whole lot about. I had, before requests started coming in, planned on discussing the Gripply last Monday so I could learn more about this region. Of course, you guys come first, and as usual, if you have requests, just throw it in the comments, throw it at me on social media, we'll get there. We're pulling today's deity straight out of the Mwangi Expanse so that you and I both can learn a little more about a region that doesn't have a whole lot of lore. From the Book of the Damned, today we're talking about the ravenous king, Angazhan. Before we do that though, couple things. First thing, congratulations to KIRK McCullough for winning 2 copies of Divinity Original Sin 2. Probably one of the best top-down RPGs ever made. Certainly the best top-down RPG made in the past few years. Our next giveaway will be when our channel has doubled from 106 subs. Big number to reach now, 212. When we get there, there'll be another giveaway. And of course, as always, before we go any farther, we have to plug our patrons. So today, this episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship is brought to you by the Inn of Planar Crossroads. Not only does Adam put out really sweet tabletop content, and I'm not just saying this because I'm running out of jokes to make about his Rise of the Runelords game, he's also a genuinely nice dude, and if you haven't watched him, we've partnered to put out a series every week, alternating on our channels, where we discuss hot topics of the tabletop role-playing game world. We'll throw a link to his channel in the description if you want to see the one that aired here last Saturday. Just click right here. Now enough paying bills. Let's get down to business. Apes have been worshipped throughout history. Pretty much everywhere in the world apes exist. We're talking the Asian world, we're talking Mesoamerica. Strangely enough though, they don't really seem to pop out, at least not from what I can find, in African culture and mythology. So I feel that our big, angry, ape-esque demon lord draws much more heavily from that big bad movie monster himself, King Kong. The premise of that movie, minus the part where the giant ape is brought back to New York and shot down by biplanes, pretty much mirrors what happens to a non-native who makes his way into the Mwangi Expanse should he come across the intelligent apes, known as Charuka, that inhabit the region. Explorers have encountered the Charuka for thousands of years, and the general consensus among them is that Angazhan has held power in the Expanse for far longer than humanity has ruled nations on Garund. He rules in the Expanse through his favored agents, the Gorilla Kings. Although only one Gorilla King rules in the Mwangi Expanse, presently that being the gorilla god Rutazek, there's been hundreds of these guys over the centuries, each of them assuming its simian form through powerful artifacts. When a Gorilla King dies, the magic of these artifacts reaches out into the world to find someone to replace him amongst the souls of recently slain mortals who in life practiced the sinful brutality that Angazhan favors. These individuals are given the opportunity to come back to life as the new Gorilla King. If they accept, they're reincarnated in a powerful new body, all their memories and skills intact, aka all of their PC class levels intact, with one minor change. Inserted amongst all of these memories is a now unending loyalty to the ravenous king Angazhan. Those killed in combat by Angazhan, they're subject to a fate worse than, death by a scary monkey god, forced reincarnation potentially as a gorilla king. Think exactly what I just described for those who join of their own accord. They retain their memories, their class levels, their anything like that, but inserted in their minds is an unwavering loyalty to the gorilla king. Angazhan's domain is called Avath Kor, a seemingly endless jungle in the abyss. In Avath Kor, gravity pulls towards the walls of this rift, so imagine if you're at the Grand Canyon, you could just kind of sort of spider walk down because gravity is allowing you to do so. From the sides of this rift grow thick jungles where the canopy doesn't block the view above you. One could look up and see the opposite side of the rift, and there another jungle. In some places, huge trees and thick vines bridge the gulf of this chasm, allowing the denizens of Avath Kor, that being anything from a Charuka to a fiendish Goralion and anything in any bestiary in between that basically looks like an evil angry ape more or less, to climb back and forth between these two jungles. The point where the jungles meet lies tens of thousands of miles below at the bottom of this rift, and it is here that Angazhan has built his palace. Angazhan is a chaotic evil demon lord with the domains animal, chaos, evil, and plant. as well as the subdomains of Decay, Demon, Fur, and Growth. His favored weapon is a spear, and his unholy symbol is a demonic ape face. In the Book of the Damned, he, as well as many other demon lords, archdevils, and scary things in between, were granted an obedience and several boons along with them. Angazhan's obedience requires a player to ingest hallucinogenic jungle plants and then beat a complex rhythm on a large drum made of human skin and bones while chanting prayers to him. Or, in other words, you're partying pretty much every day. In return, you are granted a +4 profane bonus on saving throws against diseases and poisons caused by exposure to the jungle or inflicted by creatures native to jungles. Since we're only covering one deity today, we're going to talk about all 3 of his boons in depth. We'll start with the exalted boons, these boons being the ones that we can access by just taking the obedience feat without dipping the Sentinel or Evangelist prestige class. The exalted path lets us cast Entangle 3 times a day, Bull Strength twice a day, or summon monster for 1 Fiendish Ape, 1d3 Fiendish Advanced Baboons, or 1d4 plus 1 Fiendish Baboons once a day. At 16th level, once per day as a swift action, you can summon an Advanced Fiendish Guralian, 1d3 Advanced Fiendish Dire Apes, or 1d4 plus 1 Advanced Fiendish Apes, as if you cast Summon Monster 6. The capstone at level 20 gives you a +2 profane bonus to your strength score and a +2 bonus on your fort save. In a game with a low point buy where your strength or your fort save might be suffering, or in a game where summon spells are particularly powerful, yeah, sure, not bad. Going the Evangelist route, which of course means dipping at least 1 level into the Evangelist prestige class, allows us to cast Pass Without Trace 3 times a day, Tree Shape, everyone's favorite need to hide real fast but don't have a stealth score spell, twice a day, or Spike Growth once a day. At 16th level, your feet become Prehensile, which gives you a climb speed equal to your base speed plus 10 feet, and allows you to attempt a climb check in place of an acrobatics check to leap or swing between branches or trees. As long as your feet are available and magical footwear will magically reshape itself to permit use, you can perform climbing-related activities without needing to use your hands, and you don't lose your dex to your AC or your ability to use a shield while climbing. In addition, you can attempt a climb check in place of a stealth check while in the trees, and can do so at full speed without taking penalty. You may also attempt a climb check in place of a stealth check when sniping from trees, reducing the penalty for sniping by 10. You can execute somatic spell components and carry objects with your feet, though you can't wield weapons or shields with them. The capstone to this, at 20th level, allows you, while you're in the jungle, to gain blind sense out to 60 feet, a +2 insight bonus to your AC and on saving throws, and the ability to, again, while in the jungle, never be flat-footed or surprised. You ignore cover and concealment caused by natural features of the jungle, as the very plants and stones twist out of the path of your attacks and spells. This one is considerably stronger, and although it's not particularly crazy, the flavor behind Canopy Crawler is interesting to say the least. If your druid or your barbarian has a bunch of ranks in climb but no ranks in stealth, we no longer need them. Especially if for some reason you dumped dex and kept your strength really high, Canopy Crawler can get you there, and it gives you a benefit to sniping as well. And even just reading these, I can picture these guys doing this. I think it creates a great scene. If you want to make some angry evil jungle tribes descend on the party, this is your path. Our Sentinel boons will allow us to cast Command 3 times a day, Sound Burst twice a day, or Suggestion once a day. At 16th, you become a master of overwhelming your foes and minions through Fear and Intimidation, which allows you to add your Strength modifier on Intimidate checks, this of course not stacking with things like Intimidating Prowess. Once per minute, you can use Intimidate to demoralize a creature within 30 feet as a swift action, or everything within 10 feet of you as a move action. When you do so, if your result exceeds the DC by 5 or more, the creature is frightened for a round and then shaken for the normal duration. If the result exceeds the DC by 10, the creature cowers for a round, then is frightened for a round, and then is shaken for the duration. If you use this, and probably use it sparingly because somebody's going to get upset about it eventually, to demoralize an ally, aka another player, instead of being shaken, that creature gains a +2 morale bonus on attack rolls for that duration. At 20th level, you become attuned to the jungle mind. When you perform your obedience, again, ingesting hallucinogenic jungle plants and beating on a drum made of human skin and bone, you designate a number of present and willing creatures, good luck getting the NPCs to agree to that one, equal to your charisma modifier. They become your thralls. The designation lasts for 24 hours, and 3 times per day you can infuse all the thralls you have within 50 feet of you as a swift action granting them a +4 bonus to their strength and con scores, this bonus being untyped, meaning stacks with everything, but another Sentinel of Angazhan, and a +2 bonus on initiative checks, as well as granting them any teamwork feat you might have as a bonus feat. If a thrall dies within 50 feet of you at any time, you gain the effects of Death Ward with a caster level equal to half the thrall's hit dice to a maximum of caster level 20th. Okay, so I never thought I would be condoning having a player use an intimidate check against another player, because that kind of stuff gets you kicked out of groups real fast, but here it is. Congratulations, you've made a bard who does not inspire courage, but instead inspires fear, while at the same time inspiring your allies, causing your foes to become shaken or maybe even just drop their weapons and run away. I didn't think Angazhan would be spitting out bards, but looks like he does. And going even farther, if we decide to make a bard who worships Angazhan, our inspired courage is a competence bonus. So now we, humble bard worshipping less than humble, angry ape god, are able to pass out a morale bonus, a competence bonus, and an untyped bonus to everybody within 10 feet of us. Again, not only is this super flavorful, it's pretty darn powerful too. Now there are certainly some more powerful obediences than this, but I think this definitely ranks up there both in terms of flavor and in terms of what a well-organized party can do with this. So in this one's humble opinion, if you need a little bit of inspiration to make a character from the Expanse, or if you're a game master who knows his party is going to be down there, looking at Angazhan's deific obedience boons is definitely more than a start. I'm going to go ahead and give this the Black Dragon Gaming seal of approval. So what do you guys think about the Ravenous King? Is this somebody a PC of yours might worship? Might you hope to have that PC one day be reincarnated as a Gorilla King? Or even farther, have you ever fought a Gorilla King over the course of your campaigns? Because after all, Ruthazek does appear in the continuing the campaign section of the Serpent Skull Adventure Path. Or maybe if this is just super interesting to you, because it's definitely super interesting to yours truly, tell me all about how you feel in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Our next episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship drops next Wednesday.